All right, welcome to Twintero. I'm David.
And I'm Gary.
And this is going to be a mildly long intro, so you might fast forward to the 5 or 6 minute mark. And the only
We'll
reason
let
for
you
that
know.
is not necessarily pontification, but background information. So if
Yeah.
background information is not your jam, then skip the 5 minute mark. If it is, hang around. We're going to be talking about the seating of the next Congress of the United States, like the 119th Congress or something
119th
along
Congress.
those lines.
Yeah,
And
Friday, January the 3rd.
yes, and Congress has to be seated. Actually, they have to be seated, elect their new Speaker of the House to officially bring that Congress and initiate activities.
Yeah.
Currently, the Republicans they won 220 seats versus the Democrats, and the people who vote with Democrats 215 seats. So it's a narrow margin. Matt Gaetz resigned his position, most likely to avoid having that ethics report released. He figured if I'm not in Congress, they won't release it, but they released it anyway. So now he's big mad and wants his seat back so he could defend himself. Too late, Buttercup. You're done.
Yeah.
Elise Stefanik, who's a representative out of New York, Trump wants to be the ambassador to the UN. I don't believe she's resigned her seat yet, but she will have to resign her seat for that to happen. The other person is Mike Waltz. He's a rep in Florida, and Trump is tabbing him to be a national security advisor. So that takes your 220, less Gaetz, less Stefanik, less Waltz, and makes it 217 Republicans to the 215 Democrats and people who vote with Democrats, which means that a majority requires all 217 votes, assuming all Democrats vote against something. This assumes everybody shows up to work.
Yep.
So the first thing they need to do, the Republicans, is elect a House Speaker, which, okay, that's going to be tight. But you've got Representative Thomas Massey 10 days ago saying that he's not going to support Mike Johnson for a second term. So that's a problem because that immediately takes you down to 216, and you cannot get Mike Johnson across the line with only 216 votes. So the Republicans have a problem on their hands. If they can't seat Mike Johnson and start Congress, they can't start the process of certifying the elections and getting Congress started so that the votes can be certified. And that's going to eat into, get closer and closer to Inauguration Day. So if that's the first hurdle that needs to happen for Trump to take over as the 47th president of the United States. After that, there's going to be a debate as to whether or not Trump has violated the 14th Amendment, Section 3, which reads as such. I'll skip to the good part. I'll just read the whole thing. No person, a senator or rep in Congress, or elector, president or vice president, or hold any office, civil, military, or under the United States, or under any state, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress, or as an officer of the United States, or as a member of the state legislature, or as an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such a disability. So basically, you don't have to be found guilty of insurrection. You just have had to participate in it or given aid and comfort to those who did participate. Now, when Trump's talking about pardoning all the January 6th insurrectionists, that's going to be an aid and comfort thing. Also, did you protect them? Is there evidence to show that there was protection being given to these folks? Now, not to mention, Trump in his ellipse speech was certainly goading people along with that. So you have that whole thing you have to work over, and that will go all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Yep, absolutely.
And then after that, then Donald Trump has to be alive to actually take office. And in between those things, then is there any voter election fraud that's been found that would be of such a scale and magnitude that it affected the outcome of the election, and would it stand up to scrutiny in court?
Mhm.
Lots of stuff going on, lots of moving parts. But this one, we're going to focus on
Congress.
Congress.
The House of Representatives. So, as Dave was mentioning, Trump's got his top two of the congressmen for positions in his, if you will, his cabinet or his administration, and that could take the if they get approved by the Senate, and of course that has to happen too. That takes the majority down to 217 versus 215 until those seats can be filled again.
Right.
So there's potential for mayhem in the Republican side. And let's face it.
And to be fair, we should probably qualify this. Trump's not in office yet, so therefore they haven't resigned their positions yet. They may not resign their positions until Trump is actually put in place. So it could really be a 219 to 215 split,
right,
where you can lose 3 votes or 2 votes or so before all hell breaks loose. But you don't have any wiggle room whatsoever.
No, not at all. And my point was that MAGA and the mainstream Republicans, they're fractured. They are not in lockstep. And you already saw with the budget, the continuing resolution for the budget, that the Republicans are willing to tell Trump to go pound salt. At least the 118th Congress Republicans, many were telling Trump to go pound salt. So that may carry over to the 119th, and it's going to be very interesting to see how long it takes them, if Kevin McCarthy is going to keep his record or if he's going to lose his record on number of votes.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to start this off. I'm just going to look at the vibe of the unity of the Republicans in this upcoming Congress. You know, are they the type that are going to be in lockstep and overcome this adversity extremely quickly? Like there's no drama. They just elect a House Speaker and they move on. Okay? Again, entertainment purpose only, then we'll take it from there. Quick 7 Carter, as if there could be such a thing. Decisions that need to be made and wanting to take a new path in a new direction. This is a big opportunity for the Republicans to define themselves, but I also think money talks. If you could say this could be about values, health. I don't think it's going to be a health thing. It's about values and money. Where are the Republicans going here? Past Ace of Cups, right? Oh, budget. The underlying thing is the budget, David. Come on. Mike Johnson's biggest buzzsaw he's run into has been the budget. Every time the budget comes up, all sorts of mayhem breaks out in the Republican Party. You know, the MAGAs Tea parties don't want to pay money for anything. MAGAs have their agenda, and the conservatives have their agenda. And they're easy to align when they're all fighting against a Democrat on anything, but not so much when they have to build something. Current situation is the Knight of Cups. There's probably a lot of work going on in the background trying to convince the Thomas Masseys of this world to support Mike Johnson and the speakership. It's like, you know, they don't have any wiggle room and they don't want to go through that embarrassment that they went through with McCarthy, the 15 votes to get McCarthy in there. They don't want another vote like that. Overarching energy is the 8 of Cups. You're asking, in some ways, you're asking people to walk away from their passions. And if anything, this Republican Party has run on passions and emotions and triggers and pearl-clutching type of issues, the culture war, if you will. It wasn't run on logic. It was run on the big feels. And I think there might even be an opportunity where Mike Johnson says, I'll walk away if you've got a better candidate. And there may not be an if. I do think there's going to be like 8 people, just like the 8 people that got rid of McCarthy. There's going to be a like number of people that want Johnson gone. And the lesson we learned is the Republicans are the way they are right now. They're so destructive. They will throw the baby out with the bathwater. They'll get rid of Johnson, but they don't have a replacement, and there's nobody to unify the Republican Party. It's going to take a while. Yep. Literally, Aretha Franklin, they better stop and think about what they're doing, because it's not going to serve them. But at this point, I just get the vibe that they don't care. You know, what you've got is like a bunch of people that all they're interested is winning, and winning means no compromises. You've got a bunch of extremists in there, and you can't build consensus with extremists. They don't compromise. That's not their jam. Over to you.
All right. So, how long is it going to take? You pull that Four of Swords. It's going to take some time.
It's going to take a while. If Johnson gets removed or if Johnson walks away, it's going to take them a while. There's going to be delays.
Okay. So, will they find someone in January 2025 to become Speaker of the House? All right. Foundation is the hangman.
What did we learn from our live the other day about the hangman?
Throwing people under the bus?
Big delays.
Big delay. Well,
do you not remember that?
No.
Jesus, Gary. We both threw cards on this, and this card came up for both of us. And somebody in the comments said, "Hey, hangman also means delays."
Mm. Well, it's certainly it seems to be agreeing with your Four Swords. They're finding themselves in a position that's uncomfortable for them. The challenge, they can't leave anyone out in the cold. It's like Dave was saying, you know, they don't have a big majority. They can't just ignore some faction of the Republican Party. Otherwise, this is not going to go anywhere fast. The only way they're going to get it done is if they can enlist enough aid from the Democrat side that they can overcome people that they're going to leave out in the cold.
And it's funny, one of the articles I had in here, when I did the search on who it was that wasn't going to support Johnson, the Democrats said, "We're not bailing Johnson out this time. This is all on you."
Yep. So underneath it is that Four of Wands. You know, it's either, hey, you know, we can unite Democrats and Republicans. It is blue and red. You know, we can work together and celebrate this. It could also be, here are the people that you've kicked out of the Republican caucus, if you will. That who are you going to leave out in the cold? Because if you leave any Republican out in the cold, you have to work with the Democrats in order to achieve your goals.
Yeah, who are you going to bring into the office? If you toss Johnson out, you don't have a good follow up. Now you're at the mercy of the Democrats.
No, and you know, there was some suggestion though. Well, what about Elon Musk? It's just like Elon Musk has already made some bad blood in the Republican Party.
Yeah, he's done grata now.
No, so
and here's the other thing, Gary. If you were the head of the Democratic Party, if you were Hakeem Jeffries, and the Republicans toss out Mike Johnson, and they're going through iteration after iteration after iteration of who they're going to have the House Speaker, would you give any support whatsoever? Because what happens if you don't support that person?
Well, if you don't support it, you can't seat. Basically, you cannot begin the congressional session, and you can't count your electoral college,
right?
And you can't seat the president, basically.
Right. And what else? What else is that? What else is Trump going to want that Congress to do? Start doing all the legislation he needs to enact all his horrible agenda. Why would you want to speed that up?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can keep Congress shut down for the next 3 months while you guys sort out your lives. There's your first 100 days of nothing happening because there's no Congress.
Yeah, I guess the other tack you could take is, okay, I'm going to work with some very moderate mainstream GOPs, and
I'm sorry, who are those again?
Yeah,
please give me that list of a dozen that you're referring to. There are none. Bunch of cowards, spineless jellyfish. Man, I wouldn't do a damn thing with them.
Well,
let them, with their and they will be, their 217 or 219 votes they have, let them figure it out. Show America the shit show that is the Republican Party, and you just sit there and let the government do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well, it depends.
The only thing that they need to be sat is around March so that they can try and do some form of a continuing resolution on the budget. That's the only deadline the Democrats might have.
Well, we shall see.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. In the past, Three of Swords.
By the way, I would agree with you normally. I would just say, work on a more moderate House member to be the speaker, that we can all work together. But the Republicans have shown no interest in working together, so screw them.
It's hard, Dave, because we see the public-facing side of it. We don't see the back room opinions. I remember there was a lot of talk around the 2020 election about the number of Republicans that talk ill about Trump and his policies and how he ran the country.
And they would have voted to remove him from office if it was a secret vote in the Senate. But again, spineless jellyfish. So screw
right. It's all about surviving in power, right? So if you could somehow guarantee that they will survive it and remain in power, their spines will start to reappear. But to your point, it's the ones that had a spine are now no longer either elected not to run or lost their bids.
Primaries.
Yeah. So what we've got here, Three of Swords, heartbreak.
Oh, no.
Yep. That's how it's been working. We won all three branches of government, but we can't seem to get anything going here.
It's the Democrats' fault.
The current energy is temperance. We got to find some sort of balance. I hate to tell you, Dave, but we have to find some way to work together or, calm our emotions down in order to seat a House of Representatives and start legislating for the benefit of the American people, which seems to be lost in the wash, as it were. Lesson or overarching energy is the Ace of Swords. They could. My first thought is that they're talking about the 14th Amendment, Section 3, or Article 3 of the 14th Amendment. It could just simply be, we've got a job to do, and we need to get going on this. We can't just keep running around in circles because we've got, 60, 80, 90 MAGA congressmen who are in safe red districts who can spout off at the mouth and control the will of the rest of Congress. We've got a job to do. We need to do what we were elected to do. Lesson to be learned is the Ten of Pentacles. It's about our legacy. It's about providing things of value for the entire nation. Outcome. Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so how cynical are you?
Very these days.
Yeah, that was always my Kamala Harris card. When on the run up to the election, I don't necessarily see how that would be the Kamala Harris card unless the longer they delay, it gives her more of a chance to show that there was election fraud to come to power. But I think at the end of the day, it's just basically we're the United States of America. We have a lot of prosperity. There's enough for everybody. We don't have to hog it all for ourselves. But I think where my gut is taking me now that I'm talking is that it's like a prima donna. No, I want all the things of value. I'm the one that's important. I'm that special vote that you need. Right. Exactly.
Who's going to tell them how to vote? You better get this done because you're costing us a ton of money.
Yeah,
Your American oligarchy is going to come in and say, hey, do you want campaign donations? Between Elon Musk, the tech bros, the American oligarchy, they will force this thing to finally go through. May even put pressure on Democrats that have been bought out by them as well.
Yeah, could be. It's the what I feel is that it's that treat me like a queen and give me all the plum assignments within Congress. Put me on these very important committees. I want to be the chair of these, like the Ways and Means Committee, for example, so that I can be the star of the show, the belle of the ball, if you will.
Yeah.
It's looking like there's going to have to be a lot of negotiations.
Yeah. I think you're right for the 8 holdouts. Expect that several of them are going to get some really good committee assignments.
Yep, and maybe that's what that card is the 8 holdouts, because it's sorry, it's the 9 of Pentacles. My bad. Sorry.
So there's got some palms are going to need to be greased. Oligarchs are going to be making phone calls. It's going to be a mess, and that's just the first stage.
Yeah.
They've still got to get through the 14th Amendment, Section 3 next.
And we have failed to come up with anyone that we can look at and say, yeah, this is someone who could probably lead, unite the House.
The Republican Party, they don't exist. Colin Powell would have been somebody, if I was going to come off the top of my head, that could lead the Republican Party. Colin Powell would probably be one of those people that has like seemingly impeachable character that, the conservatives would want him. MAGA would have a hard time saying no to him other than his skin tone. But, they might be willing to overlook it.
Yeah, but the thing is, Colin Powell wouldn't give his fealty to Trump. So
no, well, that's just it. I mean, so he's generally speaking a universally liked person.
Yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily say that Schwarzkopf had the same charisma that Powell did, or
Powell is more
Dick Cheney or something like that.
Yeah. Powell understood how diplomacy worked. But unfortunately, we don't have Colin Powell too.
No, we don't have him, and he's gone.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Will there be a Congress sat before the budget comes due, before the continuing resolution?
Okay. Yeah, because January is looking kind of iffy.
We got the Queen of Cups. Maybe we've got it all shut down here. Page of Swords. Working on the budget. Well, we have pair of queens here, keeping things quiet, keeping a lid on things. I think it will be. It's just going to be one of those things that they run out of time. It's just they don't have time for any innovation whatsoever. All you could do is just keep on keeping on. Trying to make any changes to it, it's too late. It really has the vibe that this Congress is so dysfunctional. Even if they did get seated prior to give themselves time to come up with a new budget, they don't have the support. They don't have the time or any ability to get an agreeable budget passed. I just think it's going to be another continuing resolution.
Okay, so I just
be a short shutdown. It could be a short shutdown too.
Okay, so I just asked myself a question and threw a 4-carder, and I'll show you in a second. It's like, well, give me the characteristics of the person that's going to be leading Congress. And you're not going to like what I just threw.
Okay, I like it already. He's a winner.
So the main card was the 6 of Wands. Someone who, look at me, I can lead us to victory. The main clarifier, Queen of Pentacles. I bring, I can watch over the wealth. I can bring things of value. I have things that everyone wants. I can take care of things. 3 of Wands, looking out, waiting. My ship is coming in, and I can see it. It's also the Page of Wands, create new messaging or starting new actions, and then underneath it, 7 of Swords. Walking away, with the steel. A lot of these cards rhyme with Elon Musk to me, and we just said there's no way it could be him. But when I look at these cards, if it's not Musk, it's someone like him. Someone that was in on the shenanigans and can basically, because we've been using this as in the video we had today. This was Musk bringing his brand of right-wing extremism to Europe. A lot of wand cards. And so if it's not Musk, it's someone like that. It would seem.
Yeah,
I don't know either.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out soon enough. We'll see how well that spread ages, or at least in retrospect, how you can force fit the person that they want in there. It could be a Nikki Haley too, for all you know. There's your ambassador to the UN with the Three of Wands type card.
That's a good point. I mean, Trump's already kind of shut her out of his cabinet, so
the conservatives would welcome her. MAGA might. They wouldn't be. I don't think they'd be heavily against her. So somebody like a Nikki Haley would be kind of
there's some potential.
Something approaching acceptable.
Yeah. We'll see.
She would have a honeymoon period, because the conservatives would like her. She supported Trump, so MAGA can like her. I mean, she's a woman and she's got mixed ethnicities that aren't all white, so they're not MAGA's ideal candidate, mind you, but what can you do? Adolf has been dead for 80 years. You can't always get what you want.
Oh, that's for sure. Okay, let's end it here.
All right, thank you everyone for watching this video and supporting our channel. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if you like these videos, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to be first on the list to get our new videos, which come out midnight Pacific time every day. Leave a comment. Boy,
Santa carries a list. He's got a list.
Yes. Leave a comment. I read them all, and I respond to many of them.
All right. And again, thank you again for supporting our channel, and we'll catch you on the next video. Take care.
And the secret
it's all going to work out in the end.
The 10 of Cups. We can all get through this and be one big happy family again. But boy, oh boy, we have some discussions around the Thanksgiving table to have before we can all start celebrating as a family again.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
Not clearly not.
Take care.
Bye, folks.